This is your weekly IUP-TV news bulletin broadcasted from the comfort of our homes. My name is Mackenzie Ocker.
And my name is Brittany Brown. We bring you stories that are relevant to IUP and the Indiana community. Let's begin with local news. Pennsylvania state universities have set a goal to keep the cost of their 14 public universities affordable. The state system of higher education voted to ask Pennsylvania government to increase its appropriation by nearly $10 million. They've also requested to make a $100 million multi-year commitment to ensure the education is affordable.
For many people in the Pittsburgh area, the holiday festival known as Light Up Night is a much beloved tradition for city residents. However, this year, things are going to be a little different. The festival, for example, which is usually hosted in downtown Pittsburgh, has officially been canceled due to the increasing number of COVID-19 cases statewide. This year would have marked the 60th anniversary of Light Up Night.
In the Homewood area of Pittsburgh, local leaders have decided to come together in the streets to discuss community concerns. Dozens of community members came together to solve various public issues. Pittsburgh Police and Mayor Peduto also involved in the demonstration. One of their concerns is housing.
As of Saturday, October 24th, Pennsylvania has 192,622 confirmed cases of COVID-19. State officials have said that there are 8,654 deaths attributed to COVID-19, with 29 new deaths reported Friday.
Spanish officials on Sunday have declared a national state of emergency that includes an overnight curfew in hopes to combat the country's growing COVID-19 cases. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said the decision to restrict the free movement on the streets of Spain between 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. allows exemption for commuting to work, buying medicine, and caring for the elderly and young family members.
Protests erupt in Italy over new virus lockdown restrictions this week. In northern Italy, demonstrators clashed with police as protests erupted across the country over government restrictions toward the second COVID-19 surge. Police said that about 2,500 people turned out in the city of Turin. Some involved vendors, restaurants, and small business owners protesting peacefully, while others came among extreme soccer club supporters. In these clashes, hundreds of people were injured, including 10 police officers.
The first known giant murder hornet's nest ever discovered in the United States has been disposed. It was discovered 2 days before in Washington state after people saw multiple flying insects coming from a tree. This is the first time murder hornets have been seen in the United States.
The new Borat movie invited strong reaction from Kazakhstan, a country in Central Asia. The movie that was released last week on Amazon Prime described a story about a Kazakh journalist called Borat who took his daughter to visit the U.S. Reception varies, while some people think the story is too close to home with description on the current situation in American politics and social condition. While others offer favorable reviews, this is the second film after the 2006 release of the similar movie.
We want to remind you why staying at home and wearing masks is important. COVID-19 travels through the air on water molecules, which it can travel a distance of up to 6 feet. A recent study found that the distance could actually be 12 feet while running or jogging. Not only can this disease travel through the air, it can live on surfaces, some up to 3 days. Make sure you remain vigilant when leaving the house and stay up to date on information, since this disease can spread in its incubation period and by asymptomatic carriers. There is still a chance you or anyone you come in contact with could have it and not know. Follow your state and local authorities' advice, and we as a community will get through these troubling times.
Halloween is just around the corner, and many people are preparing for the big day with pumpkins and decorations. However, many people are concerned about whether or not it will be safe for the children to go trick-or-treating with COVID-19 still spreading. Our reporter, Samaya Huey, has the story.
Many events have been canceled due to the pandemic. With October approaching, people wonder, will Halloween be put on hold this year? Halloween is a time for stores to provide costumes for children to dress up into. And of course, they offer an endless amount of candy.
I will allow my kids this year to celebrate it the best way we can. During this pandemic and our kids having to be social distancing, you can't really pass out candy the way you used to. You have to give out the candy bags and so forth like that.
What better ways to excite children more than bringing them to stores so they can choose their costume to get ready for trick-or-treating? However, costume shopping may not be as easy as it used to be. Since the spread of COVID-19, Store hours have changed, and sometimes it can conflict with parents' working hours.
I usually shop early, so now that the times have changed from this time to that time, I have to push myself a little bit harder to come early, and they close early. So it's a little half and half with it. I like it because we're trying to be safe, but I dislike it because it's like you can't go shopping on regular time.
With children having their own costumes, now parents have to think about trick or treating with social distancing in order.
Basically, I would like to stay home this year and do a traditional Halloween, like bake taffy apples, carve pumpkins, watch spooky, scary movies, and like let her dress up in makeup and everything, because it's very hard for her to get out the age she is to practice social distancing.
With concerns over COVID 19, many parents choose not to allow their children to trick or treat. For the children, there are other alternatives to still celebrate, such as carving pumpkins, watching scary movies, and eating candy in their own homes. Now remember to practice social distancing. I'm Samaya Huey, and I'm reporting for IUP-TV News.
Many students are frustrated and upset about IUP's decision to restructure their departments. The largest impact of the planned restructure is the dismissal of university staff and, in some cases, the cutting of whole departments. Recently, the most vocal advocates against the restructuring are students in the arts departments. Our reporter, Jonathan Papadis, spoke to some of these students about why they are against IUP's decision to cut programs.
On October 14th, IUP announced that it will be restructuring its 6 colleges, eliminating some academic areas and expanding others to combat its sharp enrollment losses. IUP President Michael Driscoll said at a news briefing that many schools across the nation are facing financial challenges due to the pandemic. One of the most visible changes in the IUP Next Gen plan is the merging of the College of Humanities and Social Sciences and the College of Fine Arts. While the plan aims to help the university in the long run, many students are angered over the fact that the plan would see the elimination of programs and teaching staff.
Of course, I definitely do not agree with the restructuring plan. I feel as if things could have gone a lot better. So I do understand that, these things have to happen in order for the university to continue running as a business, but I find that it's completely distasteful. And I don't agree with the fact that we're losing so many faculty members due to this instance.
A new campus activist group, going by the name the IUP Arts Initiative, have begun to protest the restructuring plan by covering various pieces of art around campus with tarps and attaching signs that say "Art Matters" or "Shame on IUP." This past Monday, the IUP Arts Initiative hosted a concert in the Oak Grove to further protest the IUP Next Gen plan. What was performed during this concert? Absolute silence. For 15 minutes, protesters stood in complete silence in the cold rain, clenching their instruments. I got the chance to speak with a few of the participants about their concerns regarding cuts to the arts and other departments.
The reason that I came here was the fact that we don't just have 2 great professors. Every single one of them is just phenomenal at their job, and I can't imagine the school without any of them.
When they announced that they were cutting 32% of the music faculty, that hit hard. Seeing how devastated the faculty was, these people aren't just our professors, our teachers, they're family, they're mentors, they're role models. They're cutting the journalism major. That's a big one. The news is everywhere. Journalism is so important, and they're cutting that. The English department is also being hit pretty hard, and that's also super important. That is the basis for everything, writing, reading, all that stuff. So I don't think there's any that are more important than the others. The humanities and arts should stay at IUP.
A sizable audience was in attendance for the event to show their support. Signs could be seen boasting the hashtag #ShameOnIUP. Even non-music or art majors participated in the protest.
So as an outsider, I can see how important it is to other people. But then part of it was my first year in marching band. I going through marching band and like band camp helped me with like discipline and like kind of getting me into a rhythm that really helped me succeed in college. So it's like the skills you learn in music and then like the friendships like really helped me my first semester here.
IUP has made it clear that they have no intentions of abandoning the arts or the humanities in their next-gen plan. However, these protesters believe that there is another way to satisfy PASHE's needs while preserving the livelihoods and contributions of the current faculty staff. Reporting from the Oak Grove, this is Jonathan Papadis, IUP-TV News.
Fear and anxiety about disease can be overwhelming and cause strong emotions in adults and children. Here are some tips to cope with stress during COVID-19. Take breaks from watching, reading, or listening to news, including on social media. Hearing about the pandemic repeatedly can be upsetting. Another way to cope with stress is to take care of your body. Trying to eat healthy, well-balanced meals. Taking deep breaths, stretching, and meditating. Also, exercise regularly. And most importantly, get plenty of sleep. For more information on how to cope with stress during the COVID-19 pandemic, check out the Center for Disease Control and Prevention.
With the increasing number of COVID-19 cases, many schools in Pennsylvania decided to close earlier than they originally planned. Here's the story. With COVID-19 continuing to impact us all in many ways, and the beginning of flu season just arriving, how are students going to be impacted this fall and winter with their education? Many schools in Westmoreland County are having board meetings this week to determine if the schools will remain open or closed for a minimum of 14 days due to the outbreak of cases. Many school districts such as Hempfield, Penn Trafford, and Southmoreland, along with 14 others, have had a spike in cases over the past few weeks and are trying to decide if students should all be remote until further notice.
With the school board not knowing exactly how things are going to even be rolled out, teachers are already preparing us to go online. And sure, I'd say this is a positive thing. Like, everyone would say it's positive. Of course, everyone cares about the student health, how we are as a community, but it's also negative in a lot of aspects. So we just got back to normal school, not exactly normal school, but going every other day, where we at least get to be in the physical building, learning with our teachers. We got to do that from being 100% online, and we're just being online again. And it's kind of in a way that this school year like matters a little bit more, because it's literally the beginning of the school year. It's not like just the end like it used to be. Like, most of us kind of already were passing our grades, so even if we did absolutely nothing over quarantine, we were still going to pass anyways. Now we have nothing under our belts, so if we just go all online, we're going to have to even try even harder than we did before.
A majority of the school districts in Westmoreland County are dealing with active cases of COVID-19. Closures are not mandated by the state, and each school district is responsible for making those decisions.
Well, that's all the news we have for you this week. Don't forget to check our Instagram and YouTube pages to catch up on episodes that you may have missed. My name is Mackenzie Ocker.
And my name is Brittany Brown. Stay safe out there, IUP, and we'll see you next week.